Hi everybody and welcome. This is live today and I want to discuss our inner work, inner beingness, your inner travels, your multi-dimensional selves. How is everybody doing with your integration work? Where are you at as far as seeing your energy field? Have you gone deep enough in order to see and progress and see where your progressions are at? And where is everybody at as far as their inner work goes? Just because of the last video I made was about our intentions and eclipsing that out, and then I noticed a lot of people are still going through a lot of inner child, ancestral type of woundings. And, I'm just here to help assist in those realms so you could kind of collapse some of those out and go on to your, the consciousness. We're continuing to rise through this, through the divine masculine template. So many divine masculine right now are going through major shifts in their awareness and awakening process, and this is really great because it's saying, as those that hold mostly feminine energetics, feminine bodies, or feminine energies. Okay, Zach said I have a lot of inner child trauma. I'll get to that in a second, Zach. So a lot is there's a lot of balancing there. So the hyper awareness and the next level of awakening, we're gonna see us really expand, and the gifts are gonna get more intense. So that means that healing is gonna get more intense. So don't bypass what is coming up for you right now. So if you have a lot of inner child traumas, I'm gonna go over, let's talk about inner child trauma. The inner child trauma work, and if you have inherited some of your inner child I guess processing or programming through the patriarchal and different societies or whatever background and lineage that you come from as well, all of these can assist. Okay, all of this is gonna help and assist, as long as you're willing to see the patternings and programmings and then feel it, so you can also heal that and then collapse some of those out. So with the childhood traumas, a lot of us as children, we didn't fully process what happened to us, especially if you're an empath. You could have got imprinted on by a parent just out of straight up fear of them not knowing how to take care of you, or whatnot, and then being neglected, or feeling the abandonment issues and all that stuff. Most people have this abandonment, having to deal with abandonment issues. So you kind of have to reparent yourself when you're going through the inner childhood woundings. And then if they continue to come up, as you are progressing through different relationships and stuff like that, because that's huge, especially for the divine feminine, or if you're in a female body, let's say, if you haven't fully nurtured yourself in all areas, including your sexual energies and lower chakras. So we all travel through the lower first chakras, right? And then we'll go up from there. Like Zach was saying, his kundalini is waking up. Our kundalini is always active. It's just more or less, at certain times, depending on planetary energies, it'll start moving more for you, and that'll help start to clear out some of your energies. Of course, practices work if you're consciously practicing kundalini yoga, breath work, or whatever the case may be, but you have to find out what works for you as well. So this is where I always kind of come back to, it's what works for you? What are you collapsing out, and how does that work for you? Because what works for one person can be detrimental for or just it won't really necessarily benefit somebody else, right? So it could really distort them and let people be where they need to be, and then they'll find themselves where they need to find themselves. I hope that makes sense. But so if you're progressing through your continuous childhood traumas, reparent yourself, get to know your child, because some of whoever is going through an internal inner child work, that your inner child may be shying away from you or not wanting to participate with you. So really getting to know that, and creating a bond there, and restructuring that through reparenting of inner childhood woundings and bondings. And then a lot of, like, if you're you and your father, or you and your mother, so that's, you've inherited like a dark mother or a dark father program, that's gonna look like mental abuse or abandonment type of issues. So how do you like heal through that? So that takes time. So really loving and comforting yourself, talking to somebody that helps you to navigate through that is really key as well. Of course, some people don't need to. You could easily go through it on your own. I love plant medicine. Is really helpful. If you guys work with plant medicine consciously, you can really use some of our plants to assist us with healing. And through the physical body as well. So you want to make sure that you're friends with your body. You're treating yourself very, very well. And you have time, and you make the space to really go into those places and just start asking questions. Yeah, your mind attacking you as a parent figure a lot, and it's painful. Yeah, so you have made, which a lot of people have, like a parental in your psyche, right? So you've created this psyche parental telling you what to do. Well, I knew you shouldn't have done that, right? Or there you go again, there you go again, you did that again, so who is this, what was that movie that was called Mother Dearest, right? She gonna swat you. So so if you have like a mother dearest, or your father, you have a boogeyman father, or say something traumatic happened to you as a child and you fragmented off where we left our bodies. That happens a lot to children. It happens a lot to adults too. Even if they're in a situation where it's not the funnest, or if they feel threatened in any way, you'll leave your body. And how do you stay completely in your body, not fragment off? So yeah, if you're facing that, Zach, with your parents, being that parent, you have to reparent yourself, and you kind of have to reprogram the parents that you have in your mind, in your mental capacity, because who knows, it may have came from past life, or it may have came from just something that, like I said, that you have actually created this scary character as the patriarchal mother or father template that you're carrying, and that you're here to break, right? So yeah, we all need this type of understanding. It's like, oh wow, like this is going to be some people's next level of understanding how to heal through these woundings, reparenting. And what is your God figure? Who, when you think of God, who is God? Is God this scary person that's going to condemn you? There was one person that said that in one of the comments, that God's going to send them to hell. And that's a very scary, complex, religious template to deal with. So you have to create a better God for yourself, and then work off that higher dimensional creation, or your higher self creation. Because if you're stuck on that looping programming, thinking that God is, all consuming and will, condemn you to death, then you're just kind of having to really go through the psychosis in your mind to really have to program that and step out of that, those old programming. And what does leadership look like to you? There's so many different layers and dimensions to this that we can work on. I had a talk the other night with a friend of mine, and they were just saying, I haven't treated women in my life correctly, and this and that. So why? Where are you running from your sacred feminine, your divine feminine within yourself? And how can you create that? You have to create the harmony within first, and then in order for that to come through the exterior, right? So many are living in disharmony and the functioning within the body. You could go and listen to all the spiritual stuff, the love and light, and do all your programming and accept your downloads or whatever the case may be. But if you're not walking through your initiations with like, I'm ready for this, I'm ready to level up in the next level, show me my stuff, show me my shit so I can go to that next level. If you're not doing that consciously, it's kind of like this false facade light. That's what they call the false light, false programming. So work through that so you can gain that presence of your true God self, your true goddess self, and you're honoring that and you're anchoring that in. And so, there's at times, I've talked about this before, where we'll ascend and then we descend. We ascend and then we descend. And so in that, while we're descending, it's like, okay, how can we descend here, but while taking all that knowledge of your ascension and anchoring that in and really bringing it in. And it doesn't have to be a roller coaster. It doesn't have to be a scary roller coaster. It could be like a nice progression once you get used to that, if you know how to surf or skateboard. Yeah, so, so wow, how, okay, so, oops. Your divine feminine side feels very wounded. So if your feminine side feels wounded, the best way to process through your divine feminine, just look at your relationships. How are your relationships with the feminine around you in the physical first? How's your relationship with your mother? How's the relationship with you and Earth, Mother Earth? The divine mother, we live on a female. She has both attributes, masculine and feminine, but she's mainly it's feminine. Mother Earth is feminine. We talk about Pachamama, Gaia. She's feminine. She's a feminine. We're living on a divine feminine planet. So she is our mother. She is our mothership. She is taking us through the ethers, through the cosmos. We're on her. How can you connect to her more as well? So if you don't have a physical feminine or any healthy females in your physical life, get in nature, talk to the mother, get your hands in the dirt, pick up a rock, talk to her, speak to her, teach me how to walk your ways, divine Mother Earth. Show me how to walk your ways. Show me how to treat you with the respect that you need. Gain that connection, build that connection with the earth. It's embodying the earth element. You are earth. You are her. So when we're digging deep, you're digging into yourself, when you do your inner work. And how are you her? How is she you? She's hurting, right? Yeah, it's a really powerful, it's just gaining connections through the elements. And a lot of people are disconnected from the elements a lot. So when we gain connection through the elements, and I've talked about this years ago, or maybe even last year, I have a whole program about the elements and activating the elements within your body and outside of your body. So it's very essential for us as humans, We live on an elemental planet that is made of elements, that we understand the elements within us. And as we're connected to the elements within us, we get to connect to the elements around us, and then therefore get to create a better creation for us, within us, without us, for us and each other. This is how we connect to our planet, the elements, and all of nature, basically. We are that. The fires that are crazy right now, where are the fires within you? Where is the disharmony within you? Always going back to that balance of your masculine and feminine energies. We have to balance those energies. I talk about it every month, but I need to go into more detail, I think, and seeing where people are at with those, especially when I did those intentions, and really seeing where everybody was still dealing with a lot of this muck. We have to, as a collective, go through it, gain those different perspectives, and the way you connect to the elements may be different, and it doesn't have to look like somebody else's, connecting through their elements within them. So I will always give tips and tools on how I see it and how it works for me, and in my perspective, and how I've seen it work for other people's and my clients that I work with. But I always, when I work with my clients, if you know me or have had a session with me, I'll pull out an element for you and tell you, work with this element. It's going to help you, if it's fire, if it's water, if it's air, work with that, and it's going to help you. So I'm certified in Tantra, Elemental Tantra as well, and in Elemental Tantra, you're taught how to use the elements within your body, and that's another thing that I teach on my Elemental program. And it's really essential for us to learn that. I mean, you don't have to have a program to learn about the elements, because you are essentially the elements, and you have them all around you at all times. Just taking the time out to be in nature, to be one with it and feel it. She will talk to you in so many ways, the trees or the plants, herbs. I did a really beautiful ceremony at the beginning of the year, and what came through in our ceremony is that there was a certain plant that was working with each individual that was there, and that plant or flower was going to help teach them what they needed to know throughout the year. And already I've had really profound shifts in a lot of my friends, because it was a small circle of friends and community that I knew. So they're all calling me and letting me know what they are progressing and how their flower and their essence is helping them right now. So that's another way that you can gain insight, is just kind of pick a flower or pick a tree or any type of this is, we're right here by a bush, and it's holding space for us, and it's giving us this green healing energy. It's emanating from the earth to us as I'm speaking, and there's elementals here. So like a bush like this can help teach and learn how to treat it right. Even having a plant inside of your house and learning how to keep it alive, I remember one person told me a long time ago, where I used to work, she was like, yeah, I went to this, she went to a psychologist. She had her like monthly gatherings or sessions or meeting or something. She's like, she told me to grab a plant, keep a plant alive for a year. If you could keep a plant alive for a year, then you can have, that's probably when you'll be able to have a partner in your life, like a lover, right? That was one of the exercises she had for her. But why did she have that? On a deeper level, it was her connecting to the element of earth and her understanding that unconsciously she was doing a lot more than she realized that she was doing. She was tending to it. She was taking care of it. She was watering it. She was using these elements Yeah, she was using the element of water. She was using the element, it was in earth. It's made from earth. It was what giving her air, it was giving her oxygen, giving her love back. So, it's just really simple ways. It's very simple. I like to keep things simple and practical. And when we use the practical sense of spirituality, sometimes it's like, well, shouldn't I be like downloading all these, crystal codes and all this stuff? You do already. It happens organically. And when it happens to you, when all those time shifts or those portals opening or whatever the case may be, when that's happening to you, would it be nicer to be grounded and more fully in awareness and in alignment with the elements within yourself? And so of all of nature, when you're ready to receive your downloads and your codes, that you're able to fully recognize it and see the beauty and the wonder when it happens to you. So it's like little particles running through your essence and body, and for you maybe some amazing geometric system or program that you get to see, like, wow, like this is in my field. I get to create from here. I get to see what this is. I get to really embody this next level of love. And I get to feel this. I get to feel it. I get to hear it. I get to hear the music around when I'm in nature, when I'm listening to water. I could hear it, So this is the awakened human in our ascension process. This is our life, but yes, you have to go through your templates. You have to go through your codes, your trauma, your healing, your woundings. And we're all healing from something. We really are. We're all, going to that next level and making sure our relations are respect and of integrity. And if they're not, we kind of got to check each other with love. So all of that. And I had mentioned this before in another recording, but when you're dealing with wounds, when you're dealing with deep wounds, betrayal, for instance, a lover left you, or you just, maybe things just don't work out, whatever. When you're dealing with that, it's like a deep wound. It's either ancestral and you're carrying that baggage and you're just the lucky one that gets to heal it, or it's something that you've created, it's something that you've walked through and you signed up for, I guess. So you have that wound, and the wound heals, right? And the wound is healing and you're waiting for it to heal. There's a process to healing. And you could get really irritated for that. It's like it's not healing as quickly as you would like it to. It's not, or maybe it even has a scar, or maybe it got infected. You have to clear out that infection. You're like, you kind of get frustrated because the wound is not healing as quickly as you would like it to. And then it itches, and then it gets irritated. Like, do you see how this, like, we can all relate to this process. It itches and it irritates, and you're like, oh, I wish this would just go away, because it's not healing as quickly as you would like it to. And then you finally get to that point where, all right, it's healed, but now you have a scar, and maybe the scar is, it's fading and it's good, but maybe you have a keloid scar, or a scar that's just kind of got calloused, right? Calloused, and it's bruised, and it's sore, and it's tender, and you're healing through that process too. So do you see how multi-layered healing can be? That we go through this just like our body is teaching us so much, and through our scars and through our wounds and through our hurts, we really get to see there is a process through it, and it takes time. So if you're getting frustrated with something not healing as quickly as you would like it to be, know that there's a time for that, and it's it's all coming in the right timing, or healing in the right timing. But once it does release and you do feel that final healing, then you're just like, it's good, right? There are ways that we can journey and help heal and clear things. You know, whenever you're ready to work with either someone like me or whoever you're called to work with, there is processing that and tools that we have to assist with that. But you know, it all takes that commitment from yourself and really diving deep into that, and using your tools, using what you have to like sit with yourself. You will naturally organically journey. You always do, we always do. But are you, notice when you run away from yourself, when it gets too deep, you know, and you're noticing, okay, we're here, I'm seeing this, I'm with myself, and you're there, and then maybe your mind just like switches and you just kind of run away from yourself. Notice those little subtleties too while you're doing your inner work. When you're just like, I don't want to, like, subconsciously, you don't want to go there. But you keep on going there. You kind of like, okay, come back into center and then let's see what else comes up. And if nothing comes up, then maybe you're just done for the day. And you need to come back the next day or a couple hours later to kind of see how much more deeper you can go with whatever's coming up for you, or whatever you're wanting to heal, if it's childhood, relationships, whatever the case may be. I personally work on whatever organically is coming up for me. If something's coming up, then I'll just kind of go in, see what that is about, what the storyline is, what I need to know, and then work from there. And then I'll what I call is just, I'll drop out some of the templates, I'll help drop out some of the programming. And how I do that, most of the time is just like staying in my knowing, like, you know, I'll let myself feel it, process through it, and then there's different phases of it, and then going into the I am presence, and you could kind of really see where it's like ready. Most of them are ready to shift off. Some aren't ready, you know, some of your programmings aren't ready to shift off quite yet. And that's okay, because you could give yourself the time and space for when it is time, when you are ready to go through that healing and through that process. And then after you do that, and then you have your integration phase, and then you gain your nugget, your golden nugget of enlightenment, and your higher consciousness, knowing like, oh my gosh, we are, you have this huge awakening. We go through multiple awakenings on the awakening journey, and through your journey, there's multiple awakenings. There's times where, I have been super duper high and just, in this bliss state, and then integrating that process as well. So what can you do to heal your divine masculine? So this must be a twin flame question. So not everybody's twin flame, and not everyone's going to resonate with the next part of this this message, and that's okay. But I'm going to talk about twin flames now. So if you're not a twin flame and you don't resonate with twin flame or divine partnerships, you could catch me on the next live. So I'm going to answer a twin flame question here. So with the divine masculine, what can you do to heal them? You can hold space for them, and whenever the divine feminine goes through this, and I guess this could be for all people too, if you have a divine counterpart, whenever you go through a program, and you have a nice firm foundation on whatever it is that you mastered. It's an energy you mastered, and you've healed it within yourself. You can offer that like a present to your masculine. You can offer that to your masculine and just present the energy, right? Here it is. If you're ready for it, it's here for you. They have the choice, from their higher selves, from God, source, and whatever it is, they have the choice to rise up and receive it, or, to stay where they're at. And it is the divine feminine's just kind of job to continue to stand and radiate that. It just feels very empowering to radiate your energy and your essence. All the divine masculine that you're connected to, whether it be like your partner or maybe somebody that's like very significant in your life, they're gonna feel it from you. They feel the divine feminine rise, and they know which divine feminine is. They can feel it. And if your energy is magnetizing that particular person, and they're being very drawn to you, you know that your healing work is radiating towards them, and that one that pulls forward is the one that's actually, they're receiving a lot of the healing. So they'll pull forward, they'll come forward, they'll contact you, whatever, and you'll know, yeah, they're going through their healing, they're going through their processing, and I presented it to them. You could always, of course, work through the field, and kind of like name things. When you name things, you could say, okay, I'm clearing out through my energy field. We're balancing out the energy or harmonizing. I go through a lot of this type of technique in Patreon in my twin flame angel group, where you could kind of get more of an idea on how you can do that as a counterpart for them, like working with your chakras and just kind of presenting that and see, like, that your counterpart is actually ready for that. But a basic energy tool is like golden light around you, golden light around your beloved, or even just asking, light up their hearts and show them the way, show them the path, show them that what's true, show them what's right. If it is the divine will, the highest and best for you, for them, for all concerned, may this happen for our highest and best. And if not, you surrender from there. So, and when you're working with the templates, if you're a more advanced twin flame, a more advanced healer, then you'll know very clearly on what needs to be cleared. Like, you'll have clear recognition, clear understanding in your knowingness, in your psyche, in your abilities. You'll see it, you'll hear it, you'll feel it, and you'll kind of have like more instructions and what needs to be cleared out. And so that, like, once you get to that level, a level of clear understanding is very clear for you, and you're not confused, what do I do, then that's how you just kind of really embody that essence, right? And then you can clear through the field from that way too. So, there's different levels to it. Just like anything, there's different levels to go through, different programming. If you're still dealing with codependent energies in the union template, then you have to really heal through all that, because that is all, programming that you're working through in order to get to that next level of your harmonious union, Haroscamos energy and template. So I hope that helps. And then somebody else asked, how do you know if you're a twin flame or not? It's just something that it's something that you just know that, maybe twin flame may not resonate with you, but maybe a sacred partner. I truly believe that we all have that, that special person that we're meant to be with. So some people don't believe in that or want that. They want more polyamor, they want more open relationship, they want multiple partners, and that works for some people, but that doesn't work for all people. And I believe that most twin flames can really I'm just seeing a truck right now that drives by. It's like one way to twin. So it's like, there's usually, most twin flames believe that there's one counterpart. There's that match. There's that that one essence that has basically it's the same soul vibration in two separate bodies, and you magnetize each other at the right time. There's lots of, coming together and sharing, like, oh my gosh, this happened, I had this insight, you know, oh, it happened to me too, you know. And so that's one way you could kind of really know that you have a divine counterpart, especially if you're talking to them in the physical. A lot of people don't talk to their beloveds in the physical, they'll talk to them in other realms and other ways. But if you talk to them in the physical, it's very much like, oh wow, you really truly are going through this with me, alongside with me. And yeah, it's a really special experience to experience. And it's part of some people's awakening process and their understanding on how to work with energies. And I believe that, you know, twin flames are some of the best healers, if not the best healers, because they understand things on just this complex, different levels of understanding. It's really neat to see how we recognize programs in it. And not to say that there's, you know, other healers that aren't twin flames, or maybe they just don't know or resonate with that word, but they heal. They heal even just from radiating. We all do. So whether you claim that title or not, you know, I have a different type of relationship with the word twin flame. Sometimes I'm totally in love with the word twin flame, and sometimes I'm just like, there's a program to that too. So let's come into sacred partnerships, or Haros Gamos, or divine union. Those are the type of terminologies that I kind of like to use. So yeah, it's just energy. Energy is to master our energy. It's all about our energy with everything. Yeah. So I hope that answered your question. Let me see what else wants to come through right now. If you're going through old programming, you know, old programming through any type of patriarchal or any type of society like that, once a divine feminine or a masculine comes out of that, the deprogramming of that, and this isn't anything that you can rush. It hurts. It is you're in this like a bubble, or you're in that process of and dark night of the soul. I wouldn't necessarily call it a dark night of the soul, because we can have multiple of those. This is just that final breakthrough, right? I guess you could call it dark night. Oh, thoughts on dark night of the soul. Yeah, it's kind of like what I'm talking about. I guess we could kind of weave that in here. Let me sit with this real bit. Okay, I'm going to talk about the patriarchal first, as we're kind of navigating through different energies and you're breaking through those old habitual habits. A lot of us have more patriarchal programming than we actually could imagine or think. And so when you're breaking through that, and if you have a counterpart that is dealing with that, or whatever else in their bloodline, that can keep you at a lower energetic. Yeah, okay, so dark night of the soul. I'll talk about dark night of the soul, because you guys seem to be resonating more with that. So with the dark night, it's gonna pull up all of your crap, right? So this is another layer of awakening. Your dark night is just, maybe you're just in depression and you're just in that darkness. And then where is the light? We have to become friends with our dark in order to get to the other side, right? So we have to become friends with your darkness, understanding why that depression is there. Why is this here? You know, what is it serving you? What is it teaching you? Because there's a whole lesson there as you're going through your darkness. You're journeying through the underground, the underworld. You're meeting your demons. You're seeing, okay, this is how this came about. Okay, that's where that came from. Where is the root cause of that? Okay, you're pulling up those roots. You're really looking at this, and you're in the muck. You're in the muck of it. And then after you receive your insights, you feel tired. You feel free but terrified to go now that it's over. Yeah, I think that's kind of normal. So you're like free but scared. There's just a lot of fear programming, like we had mentioned before, facing what you have created as your God and really trusting that. So once you've gone through your dark night of the soul and maybe you're out of it, and then you're trusting the light again, you're trusting the light of day again, because a lot have gone through their healing process thinking that a certain pathway was for them, and maybe it slapped you, and then you kind of fell backwards into this like processing of like, wow, I can't trust X, Y, and Z. What can I trust? And that kind of sends you into like an old patterning or something like that. And then you're here and you're recognizing this has been an old system or programming that I'm coming out of. So that's another way of shifting through the dark night. And then what can you trust? It's learning how to trust your field, learning how to trust your light. So if you're terrified and you have a lot of fear, just kind of sit with that fear and allow that fear to like show you. A lot of the times we're scared of our own power. We're scared of our own like leveling up and having more abilities, having more light, having more psychic awareness. Like, am I going to hurt somebody? Did I hurt somebody in a past life? Were you, killed or, or murdered in a past life for your abilities? So now that like you remember this energy, you remember that power that you used to once have, and it's very familiar. Like, I've been here before, but I was killed for this. So this is very scary. So that's a lot of that fear that is coming up. Like, oh my gosh, it's scary. It's kind of scary out in the world too right now. Because like I mentioned before, there's like the earth and the elements are in disharmony. And so you're feeling the fear because of this disharmony. You're feeling that extra connectedness to the earth. How can you dissipate those fears? I'm going to go back to that same answer in getting in touch and in tune with the elementals, the elements of earth, fire, water, and air. They're going to help you with your fear. They're going to help you trust again. They're going to help you trust your new template, your new programming, your new understanding, your new insight. They're going to help you anchor that in. Your guides and whoever else you work with, that's all there to support you. And how can you bring comfort into yourself with working with the elements, taking a bath, going on walks in nature, stuff like that. So really using these elements to comfort you, and also tuning into yourself again every time you get, and just asking, show me my light. Show me how I can trust this light and not be scared of it. Show me what it does. And so it's like owning your power, right? Owning your understanding of your I am presence. It's owning that as you're leveling up so you can anchor that in more. So there's many ways that people talk about it, but it can be very simple at the same time as you're learning and understanding how to trust your light again. Yeah, so did that help? I hope that helped. trusting in your own power. Or is that you have trusting in your own power, question mark? Is that a question? So, and even your name, you have angelic lioness. So you have angelic, which is this light, right? This light, this softness, this beauty. You have lioness, which is a power animal. So she's probably very much in your field. The lioness. She's a queen. She has a lot of power. She will F you up if she needs to. So do you understand that the power that is merging within you, even within your name that you have? Angelic lioness. We all have that angelic lioness within us. Very angelic, very beautiful, harmony, soft. She is compassionate. She's understanding and she's witty. But she has a lioness, which is the lioness is mothering. She's mothering. She will take care of her babies like no other. But she also has that mama part of her. Do not mess with my babies because I will do what I gotta do to protect them. So these are the powers. These are the energies that you're embodying. It can be terrifying. So think about that. Sit with that. Sit with your power animals. Sit with your angelic self. Sit with all the divine nature that you are. You know, you are that. You are a protector, lioness, or goddess. You know, you are the queen or the king. You know, you are the lion or the wolf. You know, you have that part of you, animal part. All of these aspects. Okay, so let me finish this. So I hope that makes sense, angelic lioness, to really help you with that. So, and then this one is, you do your inner work and still feel pain and tension on your right side. Yeah, so and angelic lioness, you just have to still work with yourself on owning that. Your higher self will assist you in integrating a lot of the energy that's trying to come through, and then plus your psyche and your awareness. So you probably have like created within your psyche and your mental this like a hierarchy that you're gonna get hurt, right? So you're gonna get hurt because of your light, because your light is too strong or too big. Something's gonna come after you. The boogeyman is gonna come get you because you have this highlight on you, right? So you're gonna get hit, and that sometimes can happen, but it will only happen for your benefit. It only happens to make you stronger, and it's a part of an initiation process. So it's an initiation. It's not necessarily there to hurt you. If you couldn't handle it, you wouldn't be able to go through such an initiation process, you know? So know that and trust that is, it happens. It happens. And it's nothing to be scared of or to doubt it. So stepping out of that doubt. Because honestly, you don't doubt it. It's just the ego that does. Okay, so the right side, this is for another twin flame. Your right side, you're letting your masculine go because he's running from his inner work and your light. So, he is running from his inner work and your light. So when your masculine is running from your inner work, Or his inner work. Yeah, there's really nothing you can't force anybody to do their inner work for them, but you can help by clearing the template within your right side. So if you're holding the masculine in the right side of the template, so your right side is more than likely your masculine template. So you're running that masculine. You have to see where your template. Okay, so where the template is being held out and where you could kind of bring in some mending, you could actually benefit from some healing work. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if he's your true masculine, he's not really gonna like go, right? So you have to learn how to just come into harmony. If you gotta let somebody go, let them go, but you'll know when to balance out the energies. I really don't want to go too much into like the twin flame teaching right now, but I do more like those more one-on-one sessions because this is a little personal for you, and especially with twin flame unions, you don't want any Hawkins or anybody like stifling off that your energy. So I would much rather you either go to the Patreon in a more private setting, or contact me for one-on-one sessions so I could go in more detail with that. So, all right, you guys, so much love to each and every one of you. Angelic Lionesses, thank you, and hope I help you too. Yeah, when we all come on here, you guys ask questions, we all help each other. It's like everyone's kind of benefiting after of, you know, what I'm saying. And, you know, it's, you know, this is a process and there's no need to be scared of what we have, you know. You hold the light and we all hold the light, we all hold dark, and then we hold all the spectrums of light in between that. You know, what I've seen in lots of different realms is, you know, there's an angelic school, there's a harmony school, there's lots of different academies that we're going through. And, you know, as long as you're staying on your path, whatever academy that you're enrolled in and whatever you're signed up to learn and to master on this path, you're going to gain your insight, you're going to gain your wisdom, and you're going to gain the trust more in yourself and in all that you carry and you embody, and all that is really truly here to help you. We go through initiations, and a lot of us have gone through so many initiations and are still continuing to go through your initiations. It's up to you to truly walk through this path as an initiate, understanding it. Sometimes it's not always easy for me to put everything into words, but you know, when I'm seeing where people are at, like I could you know, put words into that a little bit more easily for everybody as well too. There's, you know, there's a lot that is processing right now through each and every one of us, and I'm hearing a lot of martyrdom. So if you're dealing with martyrdom, the energy of martyrdom, you know, you want to really collapse that out if you're still holding on to that template of martyrdom, that you are here to, you know, be this sacrificial lamb. You're not. You're here to step in your power and your God presence, and we're here to alchemize and transmute, and drop out these old templates. So it's very masterful. It is very powerful. It's forgiving. It's all-encompassing. The masters were right in all of their teachings. It's just up to us to completely follow them and understand them and embody them within ourselves. We are all in here together. The mystery schools are within us. The mystery schools lie within, and we travel through our learnings all the time. And it's a very beautiful path to be on. don't, if fear or doubt comes in, don't let that come in. I mean, I've had to deal with some of that myself, but that's all part of the process too. If you didn't doubt it, if you didn't question yourself, if you didn't question your belief systems or whatever the case may be, you know, you wouldn't be you. You wouldn't be your authentic self. We're here. We question shit. We're here to get the truth. We're truth seekers and we're breakers of the old template. This isn't easy. So, yeah. So, all right, you guys, many blessings, and I will see you later. Remember, try those practices working with the elements on a deeper level. Yeah, it will really help. The elements help so much. All right, you guys, thank you so much. Many blessings to each and every one of you. I'm just gonna end with a really quick prayer to just for all of us, you know, that is here or that you're connected to. Remember to know that you radiate this energy. Your template, your energy is really assisting people to shift into their next progression, into their next awakening phase. It's really powerful to experience and for them to come to you and have discussions. It's really amazing. So let's just pray, and we're just asking, you know, grandmother, grandfather, creator, and then you're actually just praying to your higher self, right? You're praying to yourself. You're just asking right now just to envelop you with this beautiful light, with love, with peace within your heart, and with this contact that you know, and you can run that energy in knowing how sacred you are, how safe you are, how magnificent you are, and truly accept your divine inheritance. And just breathing that in. And thank you as we close this container and this talk. Thank you for your questions, and you know, in any way I'm here to assist you and honor you on your path. Thank you. Many blessings.